This is your daily market review for Tuesday, January 3rd, 2023.
Hey everyone, this is my channel to help investors and traders develop a probability-based mindset to succeed. Also try and keep friends informed of what's going on in the markets and the economy, and also a little real estate content as well.
This is Dan Max, GDXJ Realty, aka the Trading Agent. This is your daily market review for Tuesday, January 3rd, 2023. Holy crap. We are doing a recap for 2023. Time is flying by. Hopefully you're surviving. Let's get into it. So today's action. First day of the new year. New money should be coming in. Pretty volatile. Not typically what you might expect for the first day of the year, but it was interesting. It was a kind of a divergent market in the diverging, like certain things doing better than others. Some things getting smoked. Tesla had some news, brought that back down to support. The market wide and loose range. And, you know, the one thing that I want to talk about, and this is something that I'm about 99.9% sure of, that, you know, there's less than 5% of the people who follow have been trading for maybe more than 3 to 5 years, or if they have been, they don't really remember choppiness. So, and this is the thing that I want to talk about is real quick is, you know, bulls could argue, you know, are hoping for bears to finally see the market take out 385 to 383 range and go. Bears are looking for the 378, 380 range to fail. Here's the issue, though. If you're not familiar with CHOP, the market might play games until the jobs numbers on Friday. Now, certain data is coming out. Clearly, it's all weak. Now, this is the thing. Market's very good at pricing in a recession before the, you know, as the recession is in the middle, just like the market can rally as it knows GDP goes higher, right? Like the market is always anticipating moves, right? If you're trading looking in the rearview mirror, struggle bus. But here's the biggest issue, right? Is that we just don't know how to trade CHOP completely until the move resolves. Because here's the thing, like CHOP is CHOP. You got to trade around it. I advised people this morning, and I apologize I haven't been around all day. I've been doing some work trying to help a really good friend find a property here in Denver. You don't know the way it resolves, so you got to be a little more aggressive trading in and out until it resolves. And this is the thing that can be so hard, is we don't know when it will. Now, could it be jobs? Could it be the feds? I mean, there's a million things. But right now, the thing that pay attention to is like the kind of the big collar that's going on in the market, the 3,600 to 4030 range on the SPX. We'll see. I mean, we could be in CHOP for March. I mean, all the way until March potentially, or range bound until we crash or break out. Personally think we'll probably go down before we go up. But near term, I still think the new money lifts us up because at this point, the market's looking for the feds to just pivot or change their tone and get excited about. Because you have to remember, like, go look at sentiment, like fear, greed index, like it's pretty greedy. Sorry, fearful right now, fearful. And that typically leads to pops, then to greed, then we slam, potentially. Again, I don't think the bear market's over, but I just think this market in general, most people are not familiar with how long this could play out for. I mean, this could be a while. I mean, we could be in the CHOP, and nobody wants to hear that. And I've said this, I don't know, dozens of times in the last couple of videos. Like, CHOP plays out, takes longer, it's stressful, it's annoying. You get comfortable, and then boom. And then you get annoyed, and then it rallies. And then it just plays this never-ending, what seems like a game of chess with your, I mean, probably not chess, but just a game with your emotions. And that, it's really hard. And that's where you got to get into this trade the extremes, because the more you should trade it right before the range breaks out, because you don't know which way it's going to go. So at a certain point, hopefully you are trading. Now, I mean aggressive, like trading around your positions, doing what you got to do, being smart. I mean, I anticipate a up move before the down move, but what if it's just chopped, it goes down, and you didn't take any profits, and you just sat here and held names, and that worked, and then held on to the losers thinking, well, eventually they will work. That's hard. So let's just get into it and go with it. Again, if you're new to the channel, please check out Twitter. Try to keep people updated with what's going on. Please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I promise you it's worth it. When I do lives, you can follow here with educational videos. It's well worth it. Again, this is a probability-based game where you're in control of all your decisions. You don't want to be handcuffed to any one person other than your own emotional state and you making the decisions. Now, part of that is learning It's no different than, say, like this is golf. It's a hard sport. A lot of people lose. A lot of people suck at it. Ultimately, you have coaching, you have mentoring, you have a caddy. Well, you also have to be practicing and educated. You know, you have to see all markets, see all shots. Well, here's where you can get all that information. Bitcoin, yawn. I mean, we've talked about this for what seems like months. Keeps just making lower lows, lower highs, and then bases. I mean, this base, you can trade it, but again, it kind of feels like what the market's doing. I mean, it can just do what it's going to do for as long as it needs to do it. Oil, not surprised it's chopping around. However, today's action, I am surprised it dropped as much as it did. I mean, there's supposedly a record warm spell in Europe. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. Russia stuff, I don't know. But we do know the SPR is going to get refilled at 80 or lower. Could have done it at 24 in 2000 and whatever, 2000, but it is what it is. Trading between a range. Now, again, oil should rise if the market's rising, in my opinion, or flat. Now, today's action, not great in oil, but again, when you look at the market, it wasn't terrible. Nat gas, so glad I've not even messed with this. I mean, I got knocked out and just, here we go. Now, this feels pretty aggressive now, because look what happened. You've gone from 7 down to 4. Now, if you want to be that bold soldier, you go right ahead. But straight line moves typically get bounces of a decent amount. I mean, you get 360 up to 4, whatever. If that's what you want to do, great. I know there's a cap in Europe, blah, blah, blah. We'd rather warm prices. It's cold as crap in Denver, so I don't know what to say about that specifically, because at this point, natural gas is a hard trade to like really figure out. So your guess is as good as mine. Preferably when you don't know, let it go. Dollar, we talked about it's due to bounce. We talked about chopping down here, said it could play in this game. Well, hits a 20-day and backs off. I know a lot of people think it's bullish. I mean, if the data's bad, why is the dollar rising? Good question. That's what I mean. It's kind of like a very confusing time. People are like, oh, the dollar's strong. Okay, remember, when the market's weak, typically, or when the U.S. economy is weak, the dollar usually goes down, not up. But however, fear grows. Maybe it gets bought. The rest of the world's in bad shape. Again, we can try to create a story or a narrative that works, and great, but just do what the market's doing. Like your narratives, my narratives, they ultimately are worthless. We have one omnipotent God. It's the market. We do what the market is doing. We do what the market is doing. We do what the market's doing. So at this point, if you're long the dollar or you bought it down here, you need to get over the 20-day. You really need to get over this 200-day, and you really got to get back over this trend line. So it's got some room to run up, but it also has some resistance short term. Oops. No soup for you. TLT. Gapped up today, held above. Talked about, the bond market, the market overall would like if bonds rally, because they had such a crappy year where they basically went with each other. Well, here you go. A nice little rally could help out the market, but also too extreme move up could also show something's wrong. We're in this weird zone here where if I would say if the TLT breaks over 110, screaming, we got problems. Market's probably dumping. If it trades in a choppy range, market probably could get pretty damn comfortable with that, right? The VIXer, talk about chop, slop, gaps up, closes near the lows. Good luck. You know what I mean? We talk about this chop playing out, however long it's going to take. It's really frustrating. I get it. The SPY, interesting day, wide range, new highs, new lows, closes essentially at Friday's low, or open. Sorry, Friday's open. The volume wasn't that great. I mean, I said in the weekend recap, I mean, you got to break below 375 to really get going lower, and you got to break over that that's getting pretty wide. 383 to 387 now. Oof. But look at all this moving averages converging. Like, that's where it could get real funny, because I think a lot of people, because think about it, if they're all looking at moving averages, they go, oh, it's all crossing, potentially going down, the market's going to dump. That's how you trick the players of the game. Like RSI, oh, it's crossing to go up, boom, bring it down. MACD, crossing to go up, looks everything's great, boom, break it down. We just don't know yet. You don't have a direction. Anyone who's claiming that the bulls or bears are winning, you're just in chop. I'm sorry. I mean, bears won here, bulls won here. Now you're in the middle point of it. We'll see what's going to happen here. Again, trade around your positions, trade around your positions, trade around your positions. QQQ held the 3-day range low, closed in between. Doesn't look terrible, doesn't look great. Again, Apple, the fruit basket, Tesla. I mean, the same culprits of weakness, chopping and holding, creating what I would say, like this vortex of just insecurity with the rest of the market, because some things do well, some things bad. IWM, again, here's an interesting close. Hits a 20-day, backs off. Makes a higher high and higher low technically, so I guess it's not lagging if it's leading, or it's lagging if you're a bear. No, it looks like it's leading up. Need more information. I know that's like, people are like, oh, what's going to happen tomorrow? It's like, need more information sometimes. Gold, all right, nice gap up. Again, talked about not shorting it for a reason. I mean, seasonality could run up. I mean, I'm praying. Trying to think if like there's an actual trend line here. I don't know. I mean, you could draw anything. At this point, again, I would not short gold, but I'd also be thoughtful. Oh, interesting. Okay. I'd be thoughtful of just seasonality in that today's action, that's not good if you're a bull. High volume, spinning, top, whatever, doji, hammer, a decent volume after a nice move. Just keep an eye on it. Now, again, keep in mind, the market climbs a wall of worry. People are like, well, hold on. What do you mean you could be bull? No, well, no, just see this here. Like, I mean, you can get that action, right? Get these gap ups and it chops. Gaps up and looks bearish, and then boom. Gold is a funny bugger. I mean, it's just is what it is. Like, you almost have to be always trading. But here's the thing, like closing over the previous highs, that's where it's a mixed signal. It looks bullish and it looks bearish all at the same time. Silver. Now that looks a little more bearish, right? Silver, if it's been leading, open high. I mean, it's an outside reversal candle. It'd be bigger, it'd be stronger if it would have closed down by 21s. But damn, it didn't make a higher high and closed higher low. I mean, good luck. GDX, and I'll see if the miners are catching up. Like, did you watch that today? Well, again, they didn't make new highs, and they chopped. Little gappy up. Holding the 200-day. Yeah, I don't trust them. Don't trust them. GDXJ, gaps up, hits point. Hits 37s, backs off. Not looking great. But it also could be... Here's an example of chop game, right? Here's where people on SPY are like, oh, what's going on? It's like, no, this is what happens. Like, you just, again, this is the hardest part of market is everyone expecting straight line moves. And then when you get into chop, it just wrecks people because now they're buying calls out of the money. They're buying puts out of the money. That's why I try to say stay in the money. And so you can at least weather storms, or if premiums decrease a bunch, you're not getting absolutely wiped out. See why? AG. Now this doesn't make sense because this should be ripping higher, gaps up. Gaps up. Hits resistance, backs off. Tough to know. AEM. This one looks a little better, but again, look at the wicks. This is tough. Newmont, piece of junk, pops up to the range highs again like we thought. Is this a professional gap or a novice gap? Well, guess what? When you can't clear over the highs from here, now they're telling you you're going to have to call the river. We got to call another bet if you're bullish. I personally think that you don't have enough volume to overcome this, but maybe this has been accumulated, cover the distribution. It's tough to know. Personally, I'd rather just leave the miners alone and wait for dips to be even thinking about them. AMD pops up, pops, closes the lows. I mean, you're going to see this everywhere. NVIDIA pops up, closes range lows, but higher lows potentially, or near those lows. Wide and loose, right? SMH, same thing, pops up to 206 and change. Burnt, closes at a higher low. We'll see. Adobe closes up for the day, right? Not near the highs, but above. I mean, this is the thing. Like, some names look like this, like Apple. You're like, oh boy. Some names look better. Apple. Now here you go. You have this wick and it closes below it. That, like, think about like gold. Like, you would have wanted to see it close above the previous lows. It closes at 125, a big round number. I hate when they do that because now you don't really know for sure. Like, you get. This is, again, you think this is about to break down, but then you look at the pressure into the end of the day, right? Like, after essentially, basically from lunch on, it just flatted. You would think if the market was going to dump, this would unload, and then it didn't. Well, who had the stopping power? I don't know. Amazon up 2 points, right? Like, you would think this thing would be like back down at 81, a little confusing. I get it. This is what the market's doing right now. Chop is confusing. It's doing a lot of games. That looks like a bottom to me, though. And to get over the 20-day and close over and continue, I mean, you could It looks like there's 8-10% in some of these names, right? CRM, another one, gaps over the 20-day. Doji. Guggenheim. Pops a buck. Chops. Now I know Doji indecision, but is this a sandwich game, right? Before the next move up after a little bit of rise? Like, this gets hard. Meta, 126. Someone's talking about shorting it. And it's like, damn, you can't short the leaders in this. Like, this, like, again, this held, gapped up and held. You can't do that. Now, again, if the market dumps, you're going to be fine. But if the market holds up, it's breaking out and breaking away to that 130 level. Microsoft makes a higher high, closes at a higher low. Yep, NDAQ, you would think this would be rolling over. Nope, chopping. MicroStrategy, you would think this would be rolling over. Nope, chopping. Gaps up, Doge, retesting. May lows. Netflix, you would think this would be rolling over. Chopping. Makes a higher high, higher low. Think it would be rolling over. Roblox, make a higher high and a higher low. Not ideal, but man, I mean, if one day doesn't make a trend, well then we'll see. I mean, you got to hold obviously today's low. Tesla, here you go, gets bad news. Wee! Comes right back down. Huge volume again. New year. Look where it closed at 108. You son of a bat. I mean, it looks like Apple has this wick and like the same kind of formation, right? Let me look at it real quick. Shoot. Let's see. Why is it showing that? This keeps happening when I change. Give me 2 seconds. Yeah, I mean, about lunchtime, Tesla hits 105 and then just rallies in flats all day. Tough to know. Come on, again, I mean, tech in itself looks bearish, looks bullish. Good guess. AA. Sold some on the pop-up. Why? 3-day range. Started adding some back. I didn't get the lows before I went out. Obviously, it didn't close that strong for the day, but got around, I think, 45 something. Not great. We'll see. I mean, trading around it, it's just plays out. I don't know why I started with AA. I usually start with X. Same thing, gapped up, multi-day range, chopping. Not much to say. Wait for, I mean, it looks okay holding up. Nucor comes back down, retests this high candle low. More information. This candle seems indecisive to me. VALE, you would think, you know, like this one actually looks a little worse, but damn, does it not look like the 20-day? Is the 20-day curling down? Yeah. Emerging markets? Yeah. Yo, diggity. I mean, how do you want to draw it? I mean, need more information, but that doesn't look bullish if it breaks. Right? Agreed? Yep. Arrow, copper, you think it would be down today? Nope. Pops up, chops, closes flat. CCJ, you would think this thing get murdered. Pops up, closes, decent, not bad. CF, okay, let's talk about this. A lot of people frustrated. You finally got the volume. I mean, we've talked about this thing being extremes. You got to trade around it. You got to have stops. You got to have discipline. The calls that I have got basically wiped out. They're next week's. We'll see if they come back. Stock I had, I got stopped out of. CF, again, I wasn't around, so I couldn't really watch it. It just sucks because I'm looking at the close, like the last hour. Let me look at the 10-minute too. I mean, it looks like somebody had the stopping power. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Check this out, right? Check it out. Like somebody came in and stopped it. We'll see. CF's wild. I mean, this is the thing about stocks that are wild. Like, you just try to get the best trade location and go with it. Mosaic. Bought this some on Friday. I think my stop is in like low 42s. Did not get hit. Got some calls. I wish I was around. I would have sold them. I mean, you know, or tried to stop out. Part of the game. You got to know your risk. NTR. Now here you go. 71's talked about. Like, surprised you didn't get there. You're in there. See what happens around this prices. Now again, I'm not perfect. I mean, I hope people realize, like, you're not trying to be perfect. You're just trying to lose the least amount as possible. And when I left, the market was, I think, 380, like 30. I come back home at 380, 82. But some names are not acting as well as others. Some names flatted. Some names were up. I mean, the whole market in itself, not easy. Here's AA again, closing back at the 50-day. I mean, I've been trading around this pretty well. This one, I'm okay with it for now. We'll see what happens. All right, here you go. Financials, right? The market's down. Financials should be dumping. Higher highs, higher lows, holds at 200-day. Like JP Morgan, right? It should be down $3. No, it gets back over 135. Now I know it's a doji. My alarm went off. I wasn't here. We'll see. I mean, maybe I was. Actually, it was, and I just didn't do anything because I was heading out. Breaks the downtrend, though. It means confusing, right? I get it. I get it. If you're frustrated, that's the market's going to do. It's going to, not every move is just up and down. No, just chop stuff is just part of the game. Hence why I'm like, if you're going to buy calls for swing trading, please give yourself more time than you ever need. Just in case. I mean, this looks chopping. I don't know what to say about it, right? It's sideways. XBI, you would think this would be down $3. Pops up, closes. I mean, it makes a higher high and a higher low. Frustrating, hard to know. Tan, same thing. Higher high. No, not a higher low. Equal low. Okay, well, again, the volume's dirt. Your guess is as good as mine, y'all. ENPH. Now, that doesn't look that great. But the volume, that's not... Oh, this is hard. That's not the volume I want to see to confirm a breakdown. No. I guess it did it last time. All right, well, I mean, if you're short it, cool. I mean, I've said... Be careful shorting Force Solar under 145. It seemed to held that. I mean, Sedge looks way better. Gaps up, closes higher. First Solar, same kind of thing. Like it pops up and then it closed at where it needed to hold, essentially, right? It doesn't. ENPH is looking way uglier, so just keep that in mind. HYG, again, corporate debt. You would think the market would be unloading it. Gapped up, held up. Now, and resistance. Well, again, maybe the moving averages act as resistance until when? Feds, maybe... Potentially the jobs number. Good. Your guess is good as mine. Oil. We talked about missing it. Really hoping for some 65, 64 action. Personally, I mean, if you want to buy these dips, I see why. But again, I feel like oil's stuck. I feel like oil's stuck for a little bit until something changes. Now, I could be wrong because it's tough to be like, how can oil take off and then nat gas like lag so hard? Like it's probably not going to happen. Right? Like every day. If you got in at 16 and you stopped out, good. If you didn't, you are just in a freaking hurt locker. And I feel bad for people who've done that. Been there, done that. XOP. Ooh, did my alarm go off for this one too? Yes. Man, I missed. This is part of what you do. You know, you can't be around for everything. All right, put that back on your radar. If this thing can hold UNG, or not UNG, but nat gas in this range, watch what happens here in the 124 to 120. I know that's a big range, 129, but I'd like to see a higher low and some sort of test of this box. We're in the box. It's a good start. Maybe you get a better spot tomorrow. Maybe I'll be lucky. Got to put that one back on the freaking... Yes. Yeah. Yes. Like it. XOP. Because again, if oil and gas and all that stuff bottom, you could see a pop. EQT, I love just laughing at this one. Good job, guys. Got out of this one. Goodbye. ExxonMobil, down $3 and change, as I saw. In between. But you can argue this could be a higher low forming, too. Need more information. Occidental. I think this one, yeah, same thing. Like, gets below it, comes back. They're not making it easy, y'all. And people are like, oh, this is your job. Is to do. It's like, okay. Did I talk about Roblox? Yeah, I did. Sorry, I'm just like kind of looking at my list. Let's end it on PXD. Pops, flops, wicks. I mean, right back to our range. This is just stupid. Just stupid. I mean, man, there was buying at the close. I don't know what to tell you guys. Again, if nat gas can find some semblance of bottoming, or the oil names might be better. Please be thoughtful. Please be safe. Take the words I'm saying seriously about chop. It's really hard. If you have to trade it, trade it. I'm telling you, everyone wants to be a buy and hold trader, but think about it. If the market goes up a third time, down a third of the time, and sideways a third of the time on approximate average, well, guess what? We're due for some chop if the market's been dumping and then rising. I know everyone expects a recession. We get it. The market knows that. Well, my point is I feel like the biggest trick to play on everybody would be to what? Talk recession, market rally, then dump it. But it could be the opposite. It could just be a straight, absolute dumper. All right. I appreciate everybody. Please be safe. Be thoughtful. If you're not sure, do less. Less is more sometimes. The hard thing is the right thing. Okay? You got it? Appreciate everybody. Talk to you soon.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, stop by the Discord room. A link is in the description below. Also, if you'd like to help support more free content, the PayPal link is in the description as well. I appreciate your continued support of the channel.